Hello there, RosterWatch Nation. It's your friendly neighborhood Trashman. Back for my weekly Underdog Fantasy.com Ball Mania 3 draft. I've already joined the contest. Let me share that with you. It looks like we're just waiting for one person. Oh, and someone's joined. So we have a minute left before we are thrown to the wolves, or descendants of wolves. That's what dogs are, right? Just the wolves that were nice to us. If you're out there, I guess, well, it's probably too late to join this contest. Filled up more quickly. Made the draft a little bit later today, just so we wouldn't be waiting for like 15 minutes before the contest filled. I guess we're kind of lucky in that way, but it's not. It's making it possible so that no one else can join. But you'll still be with me for the picks. So let's go ahead. It starts. Yeah, and if you're out there watching, have any questions, concerns, comments, gripes, let me know. I'm available in the chat. So first pick off the board, Jamar Chase. People are getting froggy. Hey, what's up, Cody? How are those 8-hour drafts coming along? Why am I even picking on this? Well, picking at the 11 spot. I haven't picked you yet. This should be interesting. Goat Nuts has the pick right now. So it's been a little bit interesting of a draft so far. Jamar Chase being the first pick off the board. But in these big best ball fields, there's a plethora of ways to approach this. So 2 picks away. Austin Eckler. Hoping they leave Derrick Henry for me. Let's cross our fingers, yeah? Well, they may just let this lapse on Henry's the next up, so they may just pick him automatically. Oh, no. Najee Harris. All right, so there we go. Derrick Henry. That's what the cheat sheet wants, and that's what I want. But all right, second pick's going to be coming right up. Only 4 puppy drafts left. Wow. What in the 5th round? I don't know. I would maybe lose track of where I was in those, but I suppose it could be fun. I tell you, it's a far cry from the 30 seconds what we have for these drafts here. Hey, let's see who the cheat sheet advises next. CeeDee Lamb, that's who it was. So we are going to go Mike Evans. According to the cheat sheet. So far we have Derrick Henry and Mike Evans. Solid. Not sexy, but solid. We'll get sexy later. So this is version 4.2 of our best ball cheat sheet. Alex is changing these at least once a week, it seems. But the fantasy landscape is changing on a daily basis. And I'll be, in fact, updating our Dynasty Draft rankings tomorrow. So we got a while until he gets back to me. Let's take a look at some of these guys who are going to be available. Well, who may be available. Maybe one of the Chargers receivers. It's always a good idea to have a piece of that Chargers offense. Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams. I don't know. He seems high there for me. Especially if he's going to be splitting the backfield with Melvin Gordon again. Not sure that people really realize that yet. Because this ADP would not be indicative of a player splitting the backfield, in my opinion. So that most recent pick, Deebo Samuel, really the only, I would say, I don't know, solid pick for the 49ers right now, in my opinion. Or fail proof. Leonard Fournette, he's been having some trouble in camp thus far with the heat. That's okay. He's a big boy. He'll get used to it. He's a big boy in a lot of ways. Out there, Javonte Williams went. Barkley, Brown. Barkley, I think, could have a career year if they implement him like they say they're going to in the passing game. He may be their best receiver or their highest scoring pass catcher this season. T. Higgins just went. I think that's a good value. Hear the dog in the background. I'm actually pet sitting for a friend for the next 6 months. Dog Murphy. My dog doesn't bark, but hers is very communicative. I guess you're just saying hi. So still quite a few picks left until I go again. Michael Pittman just went. I think that's a good value. Attached to the arm of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, who likes to fixate on his players. Couple more picks again until me. Oh, and I'm on the clock. According to the cheat sheet, it's going to be James Conner here. Oh, it timed out. Oh, no, I got him, though. Just in time. So Derrick Henry, James Conner, my backs thus far. Mike Evans, my lone receiver. All right. So I'm thinking either Deontay Johnson or DJ Moore. Cheat sheet says Moore. And hopefully he falls to me. And he will. DJ Moore, an interesting fantasy prospect. Because we don't really know who his quarterback's going to be for sure. And we're really not excited about any of the potential candidates. But DJ Moore is an incredible athlete and, can create his own offense in a lot of ways. The thing about these drafts from on the turn, there's so much time in between, even though I guess it's really only 30 seconds per pick and then not everybody's using it. It still, adds up to several minutes between picks. Ezekiel Elliott just went. A lot of people are down on him this season, but I'm fairly certain the Cowboys are going to run the wheels off on him. I think he's going to pay dividends for owners who are willing to go for him. DK Metcalf right after. I don't know. Metcalf is a little bit iffy for me. He's big enough, powerful enough to, kind of create his own offense in a way. But we saw how, when Russell Wilson floundered last season, so did Metcalf. I don't know that he's quarterback proof. And whether it's Geno Smith or Drew Lock, I'm not terribly excited about either one of them being under center for the Seahawks and what I could only imagine will be a run-first team. Allen Robinson, Brees Hall, Lamar Jackson. Allen Robinson, I think, is a good value after his downer of 2021 season. J.K. Dobbins just went. You know, I don't know if I'd go with Dobbins there or just get Edwards a few rounds later. I think they might end up touching the ball about just as much. So just a couple more picks until me again. Juju and KC, new lease on life. He's only 26 years old. Feels like he's been in the league for a decade. And there we are. Okay. Cheat sheet says Amari Cooper. Let's do it. So we've got our initial running backs and wide receivers filled out. Let's take a look at quarterbacks available. Okay. And tight ends. Cheat sheet likes Joe Burrow. Oh, are we going to get it soon enough? Quick enough? Hopefully I can get there. Oh, no. Took Brandon Cooks for me. Too slow. Cooks I'm a little bit, I guess, ambivalent about. But as my fourth receiver, I don't hate it at all. And so we have the long wait until the next pick. But so far, I'll read off who we have on the team. Derrick Henry, James Conner, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks. Really solid team thus far. Let's see if we can cap it off with a solid quarterback tight end combo. And in that situation, maybe look for some stacks we can start getting going. Tom Brady falls. Nope, he just went. Don't really like any of the quarterbacks for sure that are connected to those wide receivers that I have thus far. So you may have to cultivate and stack with a quarterback and tight end. Maybe Dalton Schultz and Dak Prescott will fall. So the other term, we're 11 picks away. Seems like forever. Sky Moore, AJ Dillon, Starting to get into some of these rookies and younger players or secondary backs. Sky Moore could end up leading Kansas City in receiving when all this is said and done. Oh, there goes Dalton Schultz. So that Cowboys stack doesn't look great, but we'll see what we can do. So just a few more picks until me again. So let's see who's going to be available. Well, who could be. Dak Prescott there with Matthew Stafford. Let's see who cheat sheet likes the most there. Dak Prescott for sure. Let's just go ahead and do it. You don't have to twist my arm to put a Cowboy on my team. Okay, so Dak is my quarterback. See if we can get some kind of stack with him at some point. Tight end. Let's get a tight end here. So TJ Hawkins, Dallas Goedert, Dawson Knox, Zach Ertz. Let's see. Well, why not just... I might go for Gronk here. If I can draft him quick enough. Give me... And Clyde Edwards-Helaire just throw Tolbert in the queue. Yeah, I probably am going to draft him. I don't know. It could be James Washington. I like James Washington. I always felt like he kind of was dealt a bad hand in Pittsburgh. He's a Bolitnikoff winner. His tape is incredible. I really feel like he could do work there in Dallas. So I'll put him in my queue. And Colbert, that is. So we're trying to work out something with this Cowboy stack. So maybe queuing in on Jalen Tolbert, James Washington. Let me see if... Yeah, he's already gone. So no running back help there. So it'll be Tolbert or Washington. We're kind of trying to queue in for this stack. Unless we add another quarterback and try to create a stack with them. I feel like maybe picking up Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be a bad idea because he's got quite a few receivers that could end up being fantasy relevant there in Green Bay. Let's see what's going on in the draft so far. Claypool is the last pick. I mean, I feel like Pittsburgh has an embarrassment of riches at receiver. Just have to see if any of these quarterbacks can do anything with him. Cordero Patterson just went. Well, he's just going. I feel like he would have gone sooner. Patterson, I think, maybe gets more run as a receiver this season. Chris Olave next. I think he could be a good value, especially early on in the season, especially if Michael Thomas doesn't get up to speed as quickly as he like. Damian Harris. We haven't really been talking about Harris, so really any players on the Patriots as far as fantasy goes. Seems like there are no real home run hitters there, at least on paper. Then Kareem Hunt, Christian Watson just went in Green Bay. So that takes a little bit of that potential Green Bay stack away. We do have Amari Cooper, though. I guess potentially we could get a Deshaun Watson as the second quarterback. Create a stack there. Yeah, Washington, I think, is. Hold on one sec. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and take Deshaun Watson right there to maybe get some of this Cleveland stack going. I'll have lots of these drafts, so I'll get to play around with a lot of different things. But it looks like I'll probably take Dallas Goedert with this next pick. As my first tight end. It's not a bad first tight end to have, considering all the other picks I've been able to make up to this point. So far the team is Derrick Henry, James Conner, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Dak and Deshaun as my quarterbacks. Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks receivers, and then Dallas Goedert at tight end. So I'm not certain, but I'm guessing I'm probably going to go 2 wide receivers with these next 2 picks. Just feels right. Who's your favorite dark horse or sleeper this season, Cody? If you can hear me out there. Just going to add some other players to my queue, some other guys that I like. Oh, I didn't even been thinking about Michael Gallup. Throw him in there. Rashad Penny for sure. Top 5 running back upside in that cat if he's healthy. like Jarvis Landry, Damian Pierce, Ronald Jones. As much as unexciting a player as he is, I think is going to get a lot of first two down work there in Kansas City this season. Oh yeah, Komet we talked about before. AJ Green I like a lot, especially with Hop missing those first 6 games. Tim Patrick I've loved for the past 2 or 3 years. Alex has always given me flack about it, but Patrick always seems to show up. Olave, yeah, I mean, he might be the best rookie receiver of this class. And Bell, I mean, I really think it, kind of depends on who ends up being the quarterback for that team. But I think he'd be really good for Deshaun Watson. Actually, I think maybe Bell too could work with a Baker Mayfield if he stays there in Cleveland. I mean, it's sort of like a utility blanket of sorts. A combination of safety blanket and utility knife. But then again, so could Amari Cooper. All right, 2 picks before I go again. Ooh, maybe I have to reach for James Washington. I'm going to go ahead and take Rashad Penny before, though. I think I can't pass him up if he falls. It still seems a little bit early to take Washington. Let's see who else is kicking around. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just take Washington just to have him. I feel comfortable enough taking other guys late to make up for it. Oh, and I looks like I've made a horrible mistake. Not a horrible mistake, but I overlooked the fact that Prescott and Watson both have week 9 buys, so I'm going to have to add another quarterback. But there are quite a few left that could show up in fantasy this season. I actually kind of like Jameis Winston. I think with the arsenal receivers he has, and maybe just a couple more years of maturity, maybe he can minimize the mistakes that he's been making under center. McCole Hardman just went. The least sexy the least sexiest pick of the Kansas City receivers at this point, but he might end up being the best. I doubt it though. He's had his chances. Devontae Parker just went. It's a good value pick. Alberto. Ronald Jones just went. DJ Shark. Oh, it's hard to want a piece of any of that Detroit offense outside of DeAndre Swift. Anything attached to Jared Goff's arm, I kind of want to stay away from. All right, so my next pick, I'm going to have to mitigate this bye week snafu. See if we can find a quarterback that has ties to any of the players I already have. So none that I would actually want on the team. Don't want Carolina's quarterback. Don't want Houston's quarterback. So I would really like it if Jameis Winston or Matt Ryan fell to me. One of these next picks. I feel at least pretty safe with either of those guys. Ryan Tannehill, even a few picks back, I could deal with. Or Mac Jones even. Because I think it would be easier to, kind of get a stack with him later in the draft. Because not many people are angling for these Patriots receivers. Okay. One more pick until me. I think I might go with Matt Ryan and see if Paris Campbell is still out there. So I think I'll go with Matt Ryan and try to make a stack of that. And I'm guessing no one's going to take Campbell before I have the opportunity to. My next pick. Campbell, he's definitely one of my favorite sleepers going into this season. He's arguably my favorite receiver coming out of the draft that in his rookie year. Injuries have, kind of stymied his progress. Right, yeah, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and take Paris there. Why not? So team thus far, Dak, Deshaun, Matty Ice at quarterback. Running back, Derrick Henry, James Conner, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Rashad Penny. Receiver, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, James Washington, Paris Campbell, and then Dallas Goedert at tight end. It's a pretty stout team in my opinion. I actually don't mind drafting here at the 11. So what else does my team need at this point? We'll need another tight end. For sure. Another running back. I think running back and tight end are probably where I should be looking. My next couple of picks. Let's take a look at some of these guys who are available. James Robinson is still in the mix. I mean, I feel like a lot of people haven't been talking about Robinson at all. They haven't been talking about Gus Edwards. They haven't been talking about Jamal Williams. And all of those guys Could be seeing double-digit touches on a weekly basis. And there's J.D. McKissick too, who could be seeing double-digit touches on a regular basis. We're talking about receptions as well. Then Brian Robinson's there later. Washington stack it in one of these drafts. I do. Could be a good move, especially since you can get a lot of these guys who are going to be heavily involved in the offense later in the draft. That's something I'll need to keep in mind. Also see Marlon Mack's available there. Marlon Mack could end up being the lead back in Houston. Keep him in mind. Deontay Foreman could end up being the lead back in Carolina at some point. I mean, when was the last time that Christian McCaffrey played a whole season? Noah Fant there in Seattle. Seems like it could be a waste, but he definitely has the talent. So I'll see if any of these guys that I've queued up drop to me. I'll have 7 picks away. Somebody will. Gus Edwards just went. It's a good pick there. Your boy David Bell. I'll cue him up. We kind of get a stack going there with Cooper, Bell, and then Deshaun. Seems like he just went. Maybe somebody's drafting with me, along with me and heard me. I don't know. But they picked Bell right after I brought him up. Will Fuller just went. It's an interesting pick. But I guess there's a potential for high upside. One more pick until I go again. So all of the tight ends that I had in my queue gone. Running backs that are available. Yeah, James Robinson. I think there's value there. I mean, Travis Etienne he's been used more as a pass catcher, it seems like, thus far in OTAs. James Robinson, barring some kind of setback, I mean, I still feel is going to be top 2 down back most of the time. Do I like any of these tight ends? Not over Marlon Mack. So just taking a look at these tight ends who are left. Logan Thomas. Actually, that's not a bad second tight end to have. Actually, maybe not even a bad first tight end to have. Nobody's really talking about this Commanders offense at all. Could be sneaky good. Taysom Hill, potentially. That would be an interesting tight end pick. Maybe Molly Cox in Indianapolis to get me more of that stack. And Curtis Samuel's available. This whole Washington offense can be had in the last part of the draft. That's something to really keep mind of. So 8 more picks till I go. And Nico Collins just went. Could be the primary red zone target there for the Texans. Oh, there goes Logan Thomas. Jerick McKinnon, that's a good pick there. It was actually Kansas City's best back during the playoffs. Brian Robinson just went. Jared Goff. Somebody went there. Chris Evans. So one of these guys I have queued up is going to fall to me. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to maybe take Odell Beckham here. I mean, why not, right? Odell Beckham as your 7th receiver. Okay. See who's available here. Yeah, I'm going to go with Mo Alley Cox. Add to that stack. And I think that may be my last pick of this draft. Yep. So team in hand, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan, Derrick Henry, James Conner, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Rashad Penny, James Robinson, Marlon Mack. This is thick. And then Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, James Washington, Paris Campbell, Odell Beckham, Dallas Goddard, Molly Cox. So the stack that I have there really is the Matt Ryan, Paris Campbell, Mo Alley Cox, but then the Dak Prescott, James Washington stack too. So the stacks aren't that sexy, but the team is stacked in and of itself. But with that stack, I really feel like Paris Campbell, if he stays healthy, can do a lot of damage this season. Mo Alley Cox, we haven't really seen him have the primary tight end spot to himself yet. And then Odell Beckham late in the draft. I mean, my last receiver taken. It's kind of crazy to think that Odell Beckham would be the last receiver taken. So I actually have really liked these drafts I've done so far. Just as far as potential, to do well in some of these larger fields. I mean, I have a really stacked team here, and the stacks that we actually have are pretty diverse. So there you have it, another successful draft for Best Ball Mania 3. Thanks to those of you that have stuck around. Cody, Good luck on the rest of those drafts. Maybe they'll be done by the next time I see you, brother. All right. Hope you're keeping cool out there. Trying to over here. It's been 104 most days this past week. Anyways, this has been the Trash Man. Until next time, be ready, y'all.